All right, my name is Steve Smith, and this is Pam McCool, and this is the first episode of the Humane Society of Alamance County Podcat. And have we decided we're going to call it the Podcat?
Yes, I think so. I
Okay.
think that's very cute. Let's go with it. We'll have to
Yes.
come up with a logo.
This is the Podcat, and I don't know if we're going to get some dog complaints, but we're gonna go with it.
They'll get over it.
Yes, they will. So anyway, what we're doing, we're going to start doing this probably every other week to help gain awareness of the Humane Society of Alamance County. About a year ago, I joined the board of directors here, and mostly to help with Wolfstock, because I'm a huge fan of Wolfstock, and I wanted to get a little more involved with that. But I learned, I really had my eyes open to how much Pam, as the director in the Humane Society of Alamance County, does with, they stretch resources farther than anything I've ever seen. I was really impressed with it, and I want to share it with everybody. So we're gonna highlight different parts of it each week, and kind of hopefully get people to see where they could possibly help out. So basically, we're going to gain awareness for the Humane Society. We want to help with fundraising, and we'll see if we can't increase their volunteers, quality volunteers. So we're going to start out with the what's the good and what's the bad news. So what's the good news this week, Pam?
So the good news, I would say, is that we have several of our uh, cats that have started their adoption trials over the weekend. And so Paul, Rex, um, went off into what hopefully will be their forever families. They're doing beautifully. We've gotten updates and very, very cute pictures of them looking quite content lounging on their new parents. And so once their trials are over, we're hoping to go ahead and finalize the adoptions. And so that's fantastic because both those boys have been in our program for quite some time. So we're super excited at the possibility of them having found their forever homes.
Fingers crossed. How's Sissy doing?
Yes. Sissy's doing great. It's been a while since we've gotten a last update. But last we heard from her mom, she was getting along beautifully with one of her fur brothers and tolerating quite well the other two cats in the house, including her biological sister, who she hadn't seen in about 8 years. And so she's doing well. She's surprised me actually with how well she's doing, given how sassy she was in the office with us and how she could kind of barely tolerate
You know,
most of us.
everybody says that, but I came to the first board of directors meeting and she sat on my lap and did nothing but purr. So I'm kind of wondering where the problems really are.
That was an off
The,
day for Sissy. You lucked out there, Steve.
oh, and in more good news, for those of you who don't know, we're recording this for the second time because someone didn't hit record properly the first time through. So the good news is it is still recording.
Good.
And we also want to, it's not all good news in this
Yeah.
job, so we want to share some of the trials and tribulations that you're having to go through.
Yeah, so the recent bad really, I would say what we seem to be encountering more and more are phone calls from pet owners who feel like they can no longer keep their pets. And so
Hmm.
we're getting several of those calls every day, actually. And it has been the case for the last several weeks. I think COVID's playing a part in that, unfortunately, on top of everything else that we're dealing with because of COVID. But I think a lot of people have lost their jobs. They don't have their income, and so they're finding it more and more difficult to hold on to their pets. And so, we're getting a lot of people reaching out to us in the hopes that we can take them in.
Hmm.
And of course, a lot of our local shelters have been closed as a result of COVID. And so, they are limiting the amount of animals they're taking in because they have to have the staff to take care of them and enough adopters to, take them back out. And so a lot of people aren't able to use the shelter as they normally would to surrender their pets safely there, and so are reaching out to us instead. And it's been really, frustrating and honestly mostly heartbreaking to take those calls, but we're doing our best to provide them with resources and to help out.
Hmm. Okay. And we're going to have a feature spot each week about different programs that the Humane Society of Alamance County does. And February is Spay and Neuter Month, so tell us about that.
Yes. So please spay and neuter your pets. Um, the Humane Society, a little bit of a, background slash history lesson here, was formed in 1971 by a very small group of people who were really concerned about, pet overpopulation and subsequently the euthanasia rate out of our local shelters. And so they decided to do something about it. They got together, reached out to local veterinary clinics, and partnered with them to be able to spay and neuter people's pets at a more affordable rate. And so they, would reach out to people in need, schedule the surgery appointments, pick up the pets, take them to the appointments, pick them back up from the clinic and drop them off at home. And so that's, that we evolved from that.
Hmm.
And so, unfortunately, 30 plus years later, we still have that issue in this county. Overpopulation, feral cats everywhere because a lot of people still, you know, haven't learned the importance of spaying and neutering. One female cat, for example, over the course of her lifetime can have thousands of kittens. She can literally give birth to a litter, be nursing them, and 8 weeks later get pregnant again. And so, as you can imagine, she can have litters anywhere from one kitten to, 9 or 12. And so, that that makes for a lot of unwanted homeless animals in the area. And so spay and neuter. Your own pets, if you find, strays or ferals and you're able to help, trap, neuter, and release.
Hmm.
Um, and so it's so important to remember, the benefits of spaying and neutering, not just to help control the pet population and again, the amount of pets ending up at the shelters, but the how important it is for the health of your pet.
Hmm.
It um, keeps cancers, certain cancers at bay, reduces their their likelihood of suffering from certain diseases, and so we use February, but really, it, I mean, it's our biggest program here, and so
Hmm.
we highlight it throughout the year, but especially in February, to make sure people are aware of what spay and neuter resources are out there for them, and to make sure people just do it.
Hmm.
So.
So through, if someone wanted to use your program to get their pet spayed, how would they go about that?
Yeah, so they can visit our website. That's really going to be the easiest way to do it. Visit our website at hsaconline.org and click on that handy dandy spay neuter tab up top. You'll find all of the information, for the participating vets in our program, the prices. You can fill out the form. You can make the payments through PayPal, and you don't have to have a PayPal account. That's a question we often get. You can just pay through PayPal with a credit card. So once we get your form and your payment, we'll call the vet that you chose from, that you chose from our list, and we'll schedule the appointment for you, prepare the voucher, send it to you. You take that to your appointment along with your pet. They get spayed or neutered, and you bring them back home the same day. Super easy. And for those of, for our supporters who, or the people in need who can't, hop on our website, they can give us a call at 336-438-2023, and we can talk them through the steps of coming in and doing it in person.
All right. Well, that's outstanding. And the last thing we're going to talk about today is how people can help. And we've got three things. And the first one is we could use some new board members to join in. And what are you looking for there?
So board members, we're looking for animal lovers, um, people who want uh, to help us make things better for all the pets in Alamance County, and whether they're owned or not. And so we're looking for people who want to help, who can be dedicated to helping us fundraise and plan events, reach out to businesses, to help us gain sponsorships, who can be creative in ways to help us fundraise, people who are going to who appreciate and respect what it is that the Humane Society does, and want to help us maintain our programs that help the community.
Sounds good. And y'all are bringing a great value to the community, so I'm really excited to be on board. And my job's doing the podcast, and
And we're
and
so
a few other
excited
things.
to
But
have you on
yeah,
board.
it's,
Truly, yeah.
it's still recording, by the way. That's the good
Well, yeah,
news.
that's good.
Um, so you also need volunteers. Tell us a little bit about volunteer opportunities.
Yeah. So, I mean, we wouldn't be able to do any of this without our volunteers. They are really at the core of our organization. And we typically have plenty of volunteer opportunities, whether it's coming into the office to help us organize, and sort through food donations or blankets and sheets, toys, things that are donated, or, attending adoption events, helping us take care of the animals that attend, and talking to the community about them and the rest of our programs. Or, of course, helping us set up at our big fundraiser events like Woofstock or the Subaru event. Again, none of this can be done without, volunteers giving of their time and energy to all of these programs that we host. And so it's been really difficult the past year. We've seen so very few of our dedicated volunteers because of COVID, of course. And so we haven't really had a lot of opportunities for volunteer work, but we're really, really, really hoping that in the next few months, as things settle and more people get vaccinated and it's safer for us to do so, we can get back together with our people and get things rolling again.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that. I can't
Yeah.
wait to, for sure. Okay, and then, well, if you don't have time to be a board member or a volunteer, you can still donate. And how would one go about donating?
Yes, so donating can be done via our website as well. Once again, it's hsaconline.org, and you can click on the other handy dandy tab, donate tab up top, and make a donation again via PayPal, or you can send a check to our P.O. Box 5117, Burlington, North Carolina 27216, or you can actually come visit our office with a mask, please. And the address is 2213 Edgewood Avenue in Burlington. You can come by and make the donation in person. We don't receive any state or federal funding. We don't receive any funding from, the bigger Humane Society organizations. So we really rely on the support of our community, our local donors, and to keep our programs going and be able to do what it is that we love and want to do for these animals.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode. I think that was a fantastic first start. That's a fantastic first effort, and it went as good as the first one. And now we've got to get a podcat. Do you think Beth Warren would be willing to be the podcat if you?
I personally think she should be the podcat, but I can guarantee you she will volunteer her son William to wear the costume instead. So, but we may be able to talk her into it. We'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
time will tell. So if
Yeah.
anybody has any feedback or comments, we'd love to hear them. This is the
Please.
first one. We're going to do it either weekly or every other weekly. We haven't quite figured that out yet, but I'm really happy that we got the first one under our belt, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.